When I did my Shop My Stash video, I promised you that I would do at least one video using the products in that basket during the month. And I have done videos using those products. But if you remember from watching that video, and if you haven't, I will link it down below, I added quite a few cream products to the basket, and I haven't really used the cream products all that much. And so that's what I'm going to do today. I am going to give you a full face makeup tutorial using all cream products, all drugstore, all affordable. If you'd like to see that, then stick around and we'll get into it. So the first order of business is always getting my hair out of the way. But after that, I'm going to get into the primers. And I'm going to use the Essence Prime+Studio Hydrating Primer. Just put out a little on my fingers there and rub that in. This primer reminds me a lot of the NYX Marshmallow Primer. And then by extension, it also reminds me a lot of the e.l.f. primer, the Luminous Matte Primer. Because both of those primers reminded me of each other. This one doesn't have that marshmallowy smell like the NYX one does. And while it is a hydrating primer, it's not a glowy primer. And so therefore I have found that I actually can use it on my somewhat oily skin. And for my eye primer, I'm going to use this e.l.f. eye primer in sheer. And I think this is almost gone. I can barely get anything out. And I tried to get the stopper out, but it just would not come. So there's enough in here probably for another use or two, but not much more than that. And it is a sheer primer. It covers a little bit of the redness and lines on my eyes, but not very much. And so this is not something that I'll repurchase when it's gone. The e.l.f. Putty Eye Primer, if you've ever watched any of my eye videos, is still my favorite eye primer. For foundation, I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator in Fair. And I'll just dab that around. And then take my sponge and tap it in. I put this foundation in my Shop My Stash basket because I wasn't quite sure how I felt about it. I have several of these lighter coverage tinted hydrator type formulas, and I had gotten them all mixed up in my head, and I didn't know which one I liked and which one I didn't. I actually do like this one. This I will keep. It is a light coverage foundation, but I'm going to build it a little here on my cheeks and across my nose to a little bit more of a medium coverage. For concealer, I'm going to use the Maybelline Fit Me in 10. I'm not going to color correct today because I'm not really going anywhere and doing kind of a lighter makeup look anyway, so we're just going to go straight in with the concealer. And I'll paint it down the inside and a little bit at the outer corner. I'm going to just go in with my finger and get it spread out where I want it to be. The warmth of my finger kind of helps warm up the concealer and presses it into the lines and wrinkles under my eyes. Then I like to let it set for just a few seconds before I go in with my e.l.f. concealer sponge and blend the edges into my foundation and remove any excess product. I will set my face a little bit later, but since I'm going to use cream products, I'm reminding myself not to use powder yet and to wait until after I use the cream products. So the first thing I'm going to use is the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer, and I have it in the shade Honey Drip. And this is just such a pretty bronzer. And I actually like to use the e.l.f. Putty Primer Applicator to put on this bronzer. It's just the right size to get right underneath my cheekbones. And it gets in the pot really nicely. I like to put it on my jaw. And then go back and blend. So I apply it, get it where I want it, and then go back and blend. That helps me avoid getting too much in one spot. And I do like to go up along my hairline into the spot where I have really a high forehead to help conceal that just a little bit. For blush, I'm going to use the Flower Blush Balm. For blush, I'm going to use the Flower Blush Balm in Pinched. And for this, I take a little bit out on the back of my hand, like that, and I kind of just pat it around a little bit. Dab that on my cheeks. And then I use my stippling brush from Coastal Scents, which is no longer in business, to help spread that out. And I like that this cream blush, it's really almost more of a liquid, doesn't disturb the foundation underneath. How pretty. Then I'm going to go into this NYX Born to Glow highlighter, and I like this highlighter, but you do have to be a little careful with it because it dries down really fast and you can end up with just dots if you're not careful with how you put it on. So again, a little bit on the back of my hand. That's a lot, way more than I'm going to need. And I dab it around a little bit to spread it out. So I've got some on my finger. And then just dab it on. And for this, I actually like to go back to my sponge and help remove some of it because I almost always get too much. But it's really pretty. Always easier to add than it is to take away. A little down the center of my nose. And now I'm going to powder lightly, but only the center of my face. And I'm going to use the SheGlam Insta-Ready Face and Under Eye Setting Powder Duo. This is the one that has a pressed powder in the flip-up lid and then a loose powder in the twist-off part. So we're going to do just the under eyes first. And I'm going to pat out any creasing that might be in that concealer before I set it. And yeah, there are some creases. And I do have lines and creases under my eyes, and it is not my intention to pretend that I don't. Because I earned them. I earned them with smiling and with emotion and with the life that I've led. So, you know what? I'm okay that they're there. And I don't think we have to apologize for the way we look as we get older. Then I'm going to take a more tapered brush into the loose powder and kind of tap off the extra. And I'm just going to press that into the fronts of my cheek where I have some enlarged pores, just to mattify and smooth that area a little bit and to ensure that I'm not going to get shiny later. And set my nose because I usually have problems with foundation not lasting very well on my nose. But I'm not going to set the outer part of my face. I'm going to let those cream products be just kind of what they are. And they do set down. I mean, I'm not feeling tacky or anything like that. I don't like cream products that stay tacky. They need to dry down. So moving on to the eyes, I have these 4 shadow sticks. 3 of them are e.l.f. and 1 is a Catrice. And I'm going to use the Catrice one first. This is a bronze color, and I am just going to paint this all over my lid. And then I'm going to use my finger to blend it. And obviously I will do the same thing on both eyes, but I'm only going to show you the right eye. And that was a Catrice Stilo eyeshadow pen in Brown to Earth. And then I'm going to use an e.l.f. No Budge shadow stick from the Mint Melt collection in Ice Cream. And I'm going to brighten up the center of the lid with that. Just drawing it on my eye and tapping it in. And you can see it gives a little bit of a shimmer there. Another No Budge shadow stick from the Mint Melt collection is this brown Melt With Me. And I'm going to use that to deepen up the crease and the outer V. And I'm just literally drawing that in a V and bringing a little bit underneath here. And this one I am going to take a brush and blend that out. And bring it into the crease. And a little bit above because of those hooded eyes that I have, so that you can see it even when my eyes are open. Then I have one more e.l.f. No Budge shadow stick, and this is not part of the Mint Melt collection. This one is called Shimmer Pearl, and I am going to use this in a couple of places. I'm going to put it in the inner corner. I'm going to put it under the eyebrow, which I haven't done my brows yet, but I'll get there. And I'm going to use it on my lower waterline. to brighten that area up as well. Keeping with that cream theme, I am going to use the LA Girl Brow Pomade. And I mentioned this in another video that I was supposed to use it and I forgot, but I'm going to do it in this one. And so I'm going to brush my brows. I like to brush them, I brush them down first and then up. And then take the little slanted end of this tool here into the brow pomade. And because I don't want to get too much on my brow at one time, I take that and I just dab it off on my hand. My hand becomes my palette. So that when I go into my brows, I can go in more lightly and I don't just get a big blob right in one spot. And I just take little bitty strokes and draw in my brow. And if I need more, then I go into what's on my hand and pick up a little more. This color, by the way, is soft brown, and it actually is a really good color for me. And then take the spoolie and blend. I've been practicing with this and I really do like it. There is a bit of warmth to this color, which I have a little bit of red in my hair, so if you're looking for something ashy, this probably isn't the color you're going to want. And it lasts really well. I do have to go in with a makeup wipe to get it off my hand after I've used my hand as my palette. All right, so all that's left is eyeliner and mascara. I'm going to do some upper waterline because I already did the Shimmer Pearl in the lower waterline. Going to curl my eyelashes and put on some mascara, and I'll be right back. While I was away, I just did a whole bunch of Essence products. I did the Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect on my eyelashes, the Essence Make Me Brow Gel on my eyebrows in 03 Soft Brownie Brows, Essence Stay 8 Hour Lip Liner in Mood, and finally the Essence Semi-Matte Lipstick in 02 Happy. I just really love this combination for a lip. Are you a cream product fan? If so, let me know down below. I tend to not reach for cream products as much as I do powders, but when I do, I love them. So I don't know why I don't use them more, especially in the wintertime. In the summer, when I tend to be a little bit more oily, cream products want to slide around a little bit, but if I set them, they do pretty good. If you're not quite done watching YouTube for today, then how about taking a look at this video that I've got over there, or maybe you might like this one instead. I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye-bye.